Welcome back to San IT Tips. Today we will guide you through the questions and solutions from Part A of June 2023 University Examination for Programming in C. Question number 1. Differentiate among compiler, interpreter, and assembler. Compiler translates the entire high-level source code into machine code or intermediate code at once. Used for languages like C, C++, Rust, etc. Interpreter translates high-level source code into machine code line by line and executes it simultaneously. Used for languages like Python, Ruby, JavaScript. Assembler translates assembly language code into machine code. Example: NASM, NetWide Assembler, MASM, Microsoft Macro Assembler. Question number 2. What is a flowchart? Draw the flowchart to check whether the given number is positive or negative. A flowchart is a graphical representation of a process or algorithm. It uses different shapes and symbols connected by arrows to depict the steps, decisions, and sequences involved in completing a task. It provides a clear, step-by-step visualization of a process, making it easier to understand and communicate complex ideas. Now let us draw the flowchart to check whether a number is positive or negative. Start. Read a number, let's label it as num. Check if the number is greater than 0. If yes, then print the number is positive and then go to stop. If the condition is false, two options are left. Either the number can be 0 or the number is negative. Check if the number is equal to 0. If the answer is yes, print number is 0. Then go to stop. If the answer is no, print number is negative. And go to stop. This is our complete flowchart. Question number 3. Write the difference between while and do-while statements. The syntax of while loop is keyword while. Inside the parentheses, place the condition that needs to be true for the loop to execute. The curly braces enclose the block of code that will be executed repeatedly as long as the condition is true. The syntax of do-while loop is keyword do. The curly braces enclose the body of the loop. After the closing brace, the while keyword is used. Inside the parentheses, place the condition that needs to be true for the loop to execute again. Do-while loop ends with semicolon after the condition. In the case of while, the condition is checked before each iteration of the loop. The loop body executes only if the condition is true. If the condition is initially false, the loop body will never run. On the other hand, for do-while loop, the condition is checked after each iteration of the loop. The loop body executes at least once, regardless of the initial condition. The loop body will always run once, even if the condition is initially false. Question number 4. Explain various formatted I/O statements in C. The printf function is used to display formatted output to the standard output stream, usually the console. The syntax is printf, within parentheses place format string in quotes and then provide the list of arguments. Format string contains text to be printed as well as format specifiers that will be replaced by the values of the arguments. Arguments are the variables or values that correspond to the format specifiers in the format string. Let us see an example. Int age is equal to 30. Float pi is equal to 3.14159. Char initial is equal to j. Printf age %d pi %.to_f initial %c age pi initial. The print statement will output age 30 pi 3.14 and initial j. The next formatted I/O statement is scanf. The scanf function is used to read formatted input from the standard input stream, usually the keyboard. The syntax is Keyword scanf. Then the format specifier, which specifies the format of the input to be read. After that, provide the addresses of the variables where the input data will be stored. In the example given, scanf function reads an integer value and store it in the variable number. Additional formatted I/O statements include fprintf and fscanf, which work with files, and sprintf and scanf, which work with strings. Question number 5. What are the different ways of declaring and initializing a single-dimensional array? Arrays in C are declared by specifying the data type and the size of the array. The general syntax is data type array name within square bracket specify size. For example, int array of 5 declares an array with name array and size 5. Arrays can be initialized at the time of declaration by specifying all the values in curly braces using the syntax data type array name, size is equal to comma separated values in the curly braces. The example declares an array of size 5 with the values 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in their respective positions. If the size is not specified during the initialization, the compiler will determine the size based on the number of elements provided. For example, here the array size is automatically taken as 6, as we have provides 6 elements in the curly braces. You can also partially initialize an array. The uninitialized elements will be set to 0 or null by default. For example, here the first 2 elements will be set to 1 and 2 respectively, and the remaining 3 elements will be set 0. Arrays can also be initialized later using the syntax array name index number in square bracket is equal to value. Question number 6. Write a C program to check whether the given number is Armstrong or not. A number is Armstrong if the sum of the cubes of the digits equals to the number. Include the necessary header files. Math.h is included to use for mathematical functions like pow, which is used to calculate the power of numbers. Int main. Declare necessary variables. Prompt the user for input. Scanf reads the integer input by the user and stores it in the variable number. Copies the value of number to the variable original number. This is done because original number will be modified in the loop, but we need to retain the original value for the final comparison. Next, calculating the sum of the cubes of its digits using the loop. This loop continues as long as original number is not 0. This calculates the last digit of original number by taking the remainder when original number is divided by 10. This calculates the cube of remainder using the pow function and adds it to result. This removes the last digit from original number by dividing it by 10 and storing the integer quotient back in original number. When the program exits from the loop, the variable result contains the sum of the cubes of the digits of the number. Outside the loop, compare number and the sum. If the result is equal to number, print the number is Armstrong. Otherwise, print the number the not Armstrong. Question number 7. Define function prototype. Why is it used? Differentiate formal and actual parameters. A function prototype is a declaration of a function that provides essential information to the compiler before the function is actually defined. It specifies function name, the identifier used to call the function, return type, the data type of the value the function sends back to the caller, parameter list, a list of the data types and, optionally, names of the values the function expects to receive as input. The syntax is Return type function name list of parameters within parentheses. Function prototype ends with semicolon. Why use function prototypes? The compiler uses the prototype to check if function calls match the function definition in terms of return type and parameter types. This helps catch errors early. Prototypes allow you to define functions in any order, improving code readability and maintainability. Prototypes are commonly placed in header files so that multiple source files can use the same functions. Formal versus actual parameters. Formal parameters are parameters defined in the function definition or declaration. They are located in the function signature and their scope is within the function. Actual parameters are parameters passed to the function when it is called. They are located in the function call and their scope is within the calling function. In this example, the variables a and b in the function header are the formal parameters and the variables x and y in the function call are the actual parameters. Question number 8. Mention the difference between structure and union using suitable examples. Structure and union in C are both user-defined data types that group different data types together. However, they serve different purposes and handle data storage differently. Each member within a structure has its own unique memory location. However, all members of a union share the same physical memory location. The total size of a structure is the sum of the sizes of all its members. The size of the union is equal to the size of its largest member, as all members overlap in memory. Since each member in the structure is independently accessible, changes to one member do not affect others. You can only access one member of a union at a time. Modifying one member of a union will override the values of other members. Structures are used when you want to group different related data items that operate independently but are conceptually related. Unions are useful in situations where a variable may need to store different data types at different times but never simultaneously. Here is an example. The employee structure stores an employee's name, age, and salary separately. Each member has its own memory location, and you can access and modify them independently. The data union can store either an int, a float, or a char array. It can only hold one of these values at a time. The memory used is the size of the largest member, in this case, the char array. Assigning a new value to one member overrides the existing value in the union. Question number 9. What is meant by the scale factor of a pointer variable? Explain using examples. The scale factor of a pointer variable refers to the size of the data type that the pointer is pointing to. When performing arithmetic operations on pointers, such as incrementing or decrementing, the pointer is adjusted by the scale factor, which is the size, in bytes, of the type to which the pointer points. The example demonstrates how pointer arithmetic works with an int array. A pointer PTR is declared and initialized to point to the first element of the array numbers. This statement prints the value pointed to by PTR, which is 10, the first element of the array. This increments the pointer PTR to point to the next element of the array. Since PTR is a pointer to an int, it moves by the size of an int, which is 4 bytes. This statement prints the value pointed to by the incremented PTR, which is now 20, the second element of the array. Question number 10. List out the various modes of opening a file in C language. The various file opening modes in C are: R. Read mode. Opens a file for reading. The file must already exist. W. Write mode. Opens a file for writing. The file does not exist, it creates a new file. If the file exists, it overwrites the content. A. Append mode. Opens a file for appending. If the file does not exist, it creates a new file. R plus read-write mode opens a file for both reading and writing. The file must already exist. W plus write-read mode opens a file for both writing and reading. If the file does not exist, it creates a new file. If the file exists, it overwrites the content. A plus append read mode opens a file for both appending and reading. If the file does not exist, it creates a new file. RB read binary mode opens a binary file for reading. The file must already exist. WB write binary mode opens a binary file for writing. If the file does not exist, it creates a new file. If the file exists, it overwrites the content. AB append binary mode opens a binary file for appending. If the file does not exist, it creates a new file. RB plus or R plus B read-write binary mode opens a binary file for both reading and writing. The file must already exist. WB plus or W plus B write-read binary mode opens a binary file for both writing and reading. If the file does not exist, it creates a new file. If the file exists, it overwrites the content. AB plus or A plus B append read binary mode opens a binary file for both appending and reading. If the file does not exist, it creates a new file. We have concluded the solutions for part 1 of the question paper. Please join us for part 2 in the next video. Thank you for watching the video.